Welcome to the Aegis booth here at IPC Apex. I'm delighted to be joined by Jason Spira, who's the president. Good to see you, Jason.
Good to see you, Trevor. Thank you.
So we're looking at a system here on the screen, which your factory optics system.
Yes.
Can you explain some of the features behind it?
Factory Optics is being released the first time at the show here today. It's our augmented reality component to the Factory Logic system, and it has it fulfills a need that certain customers have, where operators are in situations where they cannot use their hands to manipulate a computer. There's no room for a user interface of a tablet or a computer. They might be up on a gantry. We've seen applications where you're assembling something like 15 feet off the floor, or you're in a cabinet or an airplane wing. There's very specific applications where work instructions have to be given to an operator where there's no room for a computer. So Factory Optics is seen on the, it is attached there to a safety goggle, and it's projecting in his field of view the work instructions that would normally be on a PC, but they're in a specialized user environment that he can see. And he can actually use voice commands to step through the instructions, and just like anything in Factory Logics, it's developing the trace history record of everything he does. So he can take that as battery powered and wireless, he can take it into any environment, and as if he had a computer in front of him, but he doesn't. He has both hands free, he's not touching any interfaces if he doesn't want to, and he can get through his assembly activities.
So these instructions come up in his glasses, and he can index through it using voice or by touching, and I assume the side of the unit.
If he wants to touch it, he can.
Yeah.
It also has built-in the ability to do ID scanning. So if he's scanning an entity or a part or so, it will actually, its vision camera has the ability to lock onto barcodes automatically and drive the process that way. So
okay.
Yep.
Okay. So you make sure you've got the correct part that you're working with.
You're working on, or scanning the next step. If your operating steps are actually barcoded or something like that, it has that built-in ability.
Okay. So this is a range of applications really going forward. I mean,
Yep.
yeah. So I mean, it could be used for instructional, it could be used for maintenance, it could be used for stock control.
Yeah. We actually we had our user conference recently, and this was shown to our user base, and it was remarkable, the explosion of ideas our customers had for it that we had not envisioned, and they are actually fundamentally technologically supported by it. We just have to implement them, so it's pretty exciting.
Right. So now, are you using a normal off-the-shelf glass system, but just providing the software interface here?
Yeah, that's a great question. It is actually hardware designed by a firm that specializes in AR, and the market, that space is moving so quickly that there's new hardware available all the time. The technology from us is the software embedded on it, because frankly the Factory Logics did not have to change much. It was the embedded software we created for the device itself.
Now, I see on the booth here you've got another item here in front of us. It looks like a torque wrench.
It is.
Tell me about it.
This is it's a torque wrench, as you noted, but it has wireless communication with Factory Logic. So you have a situation where the application calls for a trace history of the torque of each bolt or what have you, that transmits to Factory Logics and authenticates and makes sure it's within the control limits. So as you torque and you push the button saying I'm done, it transmits, and then the operator, or perhaps actually in Factory Optics, would be told is that a legal value or not, and then it goes into the EDHR for that particular device that would come up in trace.
Right, so you got a history there of all the torque rates that you've used for all the bolts on an aircraft or something that's of high reliability.
Correct. We have a company that makes robots that operate inside semiconductor environments, and everything torqued in there is absolutely critical. They don't use this particular device. We have integrations to a lot of drivers, but it is people they want to minimize the transactions of an operator typing things in, and plus there's risk. The operator may not type the right value in. This doesn't make a mistake. So.
Great. So I want to change the subject a little bit, because everybody's been talking about cloud computing and storing data in the cloud or moving data to the cloud, MES in the cloud. You've got a different approach to it. Tell us a little bit about how you're approaching that problem.
Oh, it's interesting. MES in the cloud, everyone talked about it, especially about 2 years ago, and Aegis took a little bit of a more conservative approach because our concern was this: if you have a very basic MES system or ERP or something, if it disconnects from the cloud for 10 minutes, maybe 30, the company is not going to be materially damaged by that. So that's fine. But with MES like ours, where we're actually in the value add and controlling product flow in many cases, if we lose connectivity to the cloud and it was a cloud-based only system, you couldn't recognize revenue anymore. And that's not something a company can bear because someone ran into a telephone pole. So we said, well, how can we get our customers the benefits of cloud, but none of those connectivity problems? And we invented what's called the enterprise hybrid model, the enterprise hybrid cloud. We have instance on-premise servers that guarantee uptime because they're not subject to connectivity, but they're connected to a different server of ours in the cloud, always replicating data to it across your multi-site enterprise. So the beauty of it is you get data archival, you get the replication of the data to the cloud, but you get cross-global, cross-site analytics at the global level, but you get all the benefits of the guaranteed uptime at the on-premise site level. And it's something that is what the customers actually wanted, with us at least, when they were saying we'd really like to go to the cloud. It was that they wanted to be able to analyze their global enterprise site by site, cross-site, centrally, and now we can provide them the benefits of both.
So how secure is it?
That was extremely important. There was no way we were going to be transmitting data. And this data feed from the site to the cloud is TLS, and it's 128-bit. It's as secure as it gets. But even with that, defense customers still, there is a hesitancy to put things into the cloud at all, and that's fine. You can still operate the system in a mode where none of the data is stored in the cloud.
It does seem a natural way to go, though, and especially when 5G comes in properly, everything, we're going to have less latency and issues there as well.
Connectivity problems will go away, or less. Although we might have new security problems, but it is the way to go. Yeah.
Well, there's a raft of new things there that you've shown us today, Jason. I want to thank you for sharing these with us, and it's nice to see you again.
It's my pleasure, Trevor.